Cheers. Ah, yes. Your very good health.
Hi, this is Susanna Corbett. Thanks for downloading Stepod and Son.
Hello and welcome to Steptoe and Son, the podcast based at Mews Cottage, 26A, Aldrum Lane, Shepherd's Bush. This is the home of the world's most famous rag and bone men, or as Harold would say,
salvage recovery operative.
My name's Darren.
And I'm his co-host Si, also known as Two of the Three Comedios podcast that we co-host along with the amazing Tom from One Foot in the Podcast.
We hope you enjoy listening. Please check out the pod on Spotify, Insta, Twitter and all other platforms.
Bronze and list.
So what's the plan tonight, Si?
You're in charge. We've talked about, talking about the characters, haven't we? And I don't know. I've seen people do this on Twitter, so I don't know how this is going to work in person. It might not be the best, but we'll see. So yeah, we're having a sort of bit of a Steptoe invitational knockout tournament of guest characters. Really, we focus on the guest characters because although Steptoe's known for being a two-hander, there's quite a wide range, isn't there, over the 8 series and films of guest characters. So I thought it'd be good to dive into a few of them. Obviously not covering all of them, but and then just sort of see kind of paired them up a little bit randomly. There's some logic to it, and then we'll just discuss them and see who goes through. So we kind of broke it into categories. So we thought, what we put. Sorry,
I think Albert's. That's not Albert's. Well, you could do one on Albert's love.
You could do Albert's
rivals, couldn't you? Because I was thinking
Harold's women, Harold's ladies friends, gentleman characters. So that's sort of like anyone who's, I was going to say upper class, but I just kind of left it at gentleman. So someone who's perhaps arguably puts on a bit more of a posher accent than Harold would. And then I thought going from there, we then perhaps think about villains who've graced the screen.
That's a good one.
And then anyone else we could mop up because so I thought we'd just play it by ear and see how it goes. And
it links in well with the last pod we did last week was with Brian Slade, wasn't it, about Frank Thornton, and I think that sort of got us, give us the idea a bit, because Frank Thornton was in so many episodes as different,
that's it, isn't it? And
characters,
and seeing the range of characters he played. So I've kind of categorized them, like I say, into those 4 things. I thought we'd start with Harold's women, and so the first pairing we've got, and I thought these two were quite similar, so it'd be interesting to see which we think should go through. But so I've gone with Martine from The Bath. Now, how does he actually call her Martine? I can't remember.
It's something like that, isn't it, Martine?
Yeah, well, that's I looked at IMDb, and it's Ulla Joyce's character in The Bath.
Because what does he call it? He's got a pet name for her, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has, and it's escaped for the minute. But so just a quick recap. She's she's the first, isn't she, that comes around?
Yeah.
And, the old man's basically had a bath. No, that's right. The old man's having a bath, and Harold's hurrying him out of there, and she comes around, but too late to get rid of the bath, so he's got to cover it up, and chaos ensues.
She ends up in it.
Ends up in it, basically. Which is the last we see of her. It's not the last we see of Ulla Joyce, is it? I don't think. But
no, thank God. Eutha was in. She was in the later ones. Was it series 7?
Right.
She was
and
in.
And then we've got Marcia, who, like I told you this off pod before, he's played by the actress who went on to play Mark's mum in Peep Show, like one episode.
Yeah, that blew my mind. And it took a while for me to sort of get my head around it. Yeah.
Both London-based sitcoms, aren't they? It's a nice little link there, but it played a very different character. But she's played a very, should we say, brassy lady in And So to Bed. She's quite a big role in that, hasn't she? She's, So I thought they were two quite sort of fiery characters.
Very similar names as well. I just realised that, Martine and Marcia.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Yeah, I mean, you do wonder. I mean, I'm guessing. And when did Ulla Joyce passed away? Yeah, so she was still around at that point. But I guess, getting a bit famous herself. She'd done George and Mildred and Man About the House by that point, I think. So maybe she wasn't as available. So
So are we rating them on, say, like impact on the series, and then sort of how they stand out?
How they stand out, yeah. So I mean, my memories of watching the Marcia episode is yeah. First of all, Harold trying to sort of get it on with her in the junkyard, isn't he? And
Yeah,
because isn't
yeah,
he cobbling? Is he cobbling at that time?
yeah. He's you got Albert. He's fixing his. What does he say? He's had 12 pairs of shoes turn up
That's
today,
it.
so he'd be cobbling all night like a little gnome.
And there's a great bit, isn't there, where he's sort of like, "Oh, you got a bird there, have you?" or something like that. He sort of he latches
Yeah.
on to it on.
Am I getting it confused? Is that the one she says to him to go to bed or something? And Albert goes, "Oh, we got a talking horse now, have we?"
That's the one. Yeah, I think that's the one. Yeah. So yeah, long story short, basically he ends up buying it's the waterbed, isn't it?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
both ending with water there. So again, that's just a coincidence.
God, yeah. Ended up, yeah. Someone ended up soaked.
And being humiliated.
Yeah. What's his name? The waterbed salesman, I suppose you call him. I mean, that's a brilliant
That
sort
is
of
a
one-off
great
character. You know,
off
I,
character, isn't
I
it?
can't think of the guy's name, but
No, he's got an air of Captain. He's got an air of Frank Thornton in the
Hmm,
travel agent role, isn't he? The kind of
definitely,
he
yeah.
pretty much
He's
uses the same line, doesn't he? About well, the bins around the back.
the bit, yeah. Or
It's-
was it? I don't. Is it Frank Thorne who says he goes the betting shop is over the road or something? It's
yeah,
like
yeah, that's
just looks him
it.
up and down.
Yeah. Um, so yeah, so Harold's had enough of basically there's like fleas or whatever there is on his mattress, and
Yeah.
he's yeah fancying a bit of luxury. I mean, I don't know about you. I've never tried a waterbed, but I'm not sure I'd be that bothered with it.
Do you know what? It's something that came and went, didn't it? It was like I'm sure I can remember as a kid. It was not popular, but it was
Yeah.
seen as like a thing that everyone aspired to. A bit like I suppose with what they call them now. You have them in the garden, hot tub things, the
Hot
inflatable hot
tubs.
tubs.
Yeah,
It
that's
was a bit
all.
of a fad, wasn't it? But
Yeah.
no, no one's got a waterbed, have they?
I don't think so. No.
No, it's,
Yeah, I remember knowing of them in the 90s, sort of growing up,
mm,
but that was it. I never knew anyone that had one. We never had one. So
mm. I mean,
I
I'm
suppose it
just
gives
thinking
you
now. I remember the end of that. Well, not the end, but how Albert pierces the
yeah.
waterbed with a knife. So in the TV version, he's wiring the plug, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
And then
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
he goes
Yeah.
damn and puts a knife through. I'm sure the radio version was something totally different.
I suppose he is.
I think he left
Parents.
like
Yeah.
did he leave the soldering iron on or something? Because obviously they have to
Oh, that would make
describe it on
sense.
the
Yeah.
radio.
Leave it on around it,
Mm.
melt it, wouldn't it? And then just leak. I always thought that the stabbing of the bed was a bit over the top. Like he almost does it in anger, doesn't he? That he can't quite
Yeah,
do it, and then he's sort of, "Urgh," and yeah,
he
it's a,
ca-
I don't
I think he
know. I
catches his thumb,
guess
doesn't he, and then just puts
yeah.
some like so.
I
Yeah,
suppose
it's
he
a
has to.
bit
He has to.
pantomimey.
Yeah. Pantomime. Yeah, that's a really good way to describe it. And I'm guessing it was on set, and he had to actually have it burst, so he couldn't just do it gently. He had to give it a full on, filming it while they're filming it. They obviously only get one shot of getting it right or whatever. So
Yeah, I wonder what if we could come up with a different way um, of that waterbed being burst, apart from Albert stabbing it. Um,
um,
you could have had like electrical issue or something, but I suppose you wouldn't. The
yeah,
way it
you could
ends is
have it
when
that he was, or maybe he put an electric blanket on it to try and
Mm,
heat it up. So he thought it was cold, going to heat it up, and there was a short on there, and it caused it to, electricity and water mixing.
yeah.
Um, yeah,
It's annoying that one because it's one of the rare occasions they're actually working together. Like Albert's actually doing something for him
yeah.
then, and he's like, "Oh, okay, yeah, I'll fix this. You go on out."
It,
Um,
I think it could have been that he had to maybe move some radiator pipes, and he was using a blowtorch to reheat them or whatever, weld them back together. You can
yeah,
imagine an old man having to go at a bit of that with just leave the blowtorch. Um, you know, uh,
yeah, that would have
as
worked.
Del Boy says, what do you say about Brendan? He says, I know a lot of blokes that like a lot of drink. That's what
At lunchtime, yeah. Even the coroner said it was an
even
accident.
the car, yeah, that's
It's coroner.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's probably other ways, isn't there? Yeah.
Yeah. So what we thinking then? Martine, Luther Joyce, or Marcia?
So I think because of the impact she has in the episode, and just she is a fearsome character. I think Marcia, so the Sota Bed
Yeah.
character. I think just because she's given a little bit more to do, she is like I say, quite pressy. She's married woman, isn't she? And doesn't she describe herself as a swinger? And yeah, because Harold says, I don't like breaking up families or something, doesn't he? He goes in a little bit of a monologue about it.
Yeah.
But he's going to do it anyway. So it's
Yeah, do you know what? I think that's part. We've said this before, didn't we, about how, I mean, he's 39 and
yeah,
dating,
yeah,
and most women his age are going to be married, possibly had kids. So it's good that he sort of put thought into it and gone, it's not that, it's quite unusual for a 40-year-old man to have never had a wife or serious relationship,
yeah.
and for
And
him
he
to be
came close,
dating.
didn't
So,
he? And
mm.
afterwards, in
See, I
certain,
think he spotted a ring, didn't he?
yeah, yeah.
Mm.
But yeah, so yeah, I don't know if you agree with that, Daz. But I mean,
Yeah,
this is
yeah, I was gonna say I'd go with that. Yeah, because she's
yeah.
much more of a
Mm.
she can handle him. She's not a shrinking violet.
And
Um,
she comes back, doesn't she? Which Martine, who the Joyce doesn't, who the Joyce is gone, and by the end of the bath, it's a different female character that Harold's tempting to the house, and by that time the bath's already fallen through the roof, hasn't it?
yeah, it's gone through. Yeah,
They never have much good luck with plumbing, do they? Obviously, the same problem with Magnificent Men and the heating machines. It's
yeah. I
always
was gonna say the heating one. Yeah, that was a right bloody hash of a job,
yeah.
wasn't it? What he moves Albert out, doesn't he, out of his bedroom and just cobbles it all together. And
I like the shot they do of that where they just literally go around and he's put all the pipes around and then there's pipes blocking the door so they can't open the door or can't.
yeah,
But I
the
think actually, those days that's what you'd have to do, isn't it? And I know the first
mm,
house we lived in, a lot of the pipes were on the wall because this house was
mm,
so old it wouldn't have had central heating. So it's been put in after. You
mm.
can't really dig the floor up and put the heating pipes in then. So you kind of have to see the heating pipes, don't you?
You have
It's
to fit everything. Yeah, fit around everything.
not like you can do. So yeah, so moving on. We've gone with Monique from Steptoe a la carte, and
Monique.
so series three, and Dorothea, and Is That Your Horse Outside? Now again, these are both people that Harold meet on the round, so I was trying to sort of pair them off in that sense. Monique, as the name suggests, is French, and it's Frank Thornton's third appearance, is it, or second appearance? I think
Yeah, I
he's
think it's probably second by now, isn't it? Yeah.
sort of servant, butler, what have you at the door.
It's a
Uh,
good, like I know it's all good, well written, but I do like that one that Step to a la carte because he shows. I always love it when they go back to Albert's
yeah,
past and the war stories.
yeah,
Again, a bit like Only Fools and Horses, isn't it? But I
yeah,
think
that's it.
yeah, she's a good cat considering she can't speak English.
No,
She's still a
no,
really
that's
good
it.
character, and you get everything she's saying. And of
Mm.
course, the thing with it, ends up being Albert's granddaughter
Yeah, there is that. Yeah,
is a
which I think
massive twist.
one put in the grave. Only Fools and Horses, like you say, I think
Mm.
influenced maybe a little bit by that with the whole Albert sort of populating France, wasn't he?
Trottersville.
Poppersville, that's it. All the men with beards suddenly cropping up. Yeah, yeah, that's it. That's
So she's
yeah,
a good, but having said that, Dorothea, again, history. So that one, she's got a history with Harold, isn't she?
yes,
So
yeah.
she was dating Harold when he just before he left for the army. If I got that right, and then Albert brings her home, doesn't he, to be a.
No, sorry, this is Dorothea. This is one that Harold goes with, and he basically she is playing him, so she just sort of wants an afternoon of fun with him, and then that's it. She
Oh, it is,
finds
yeah,
him. Yeah,
Dorothea.
yeah. So the old man, how Albert follows him on the bike.
Yeah, I get you now. Yeah, I got it confused with the
Yeah, no, it's easy done, mate. There's similar storylines going on there, isn't there? But
Yeah,
yeah.
Dorothy is quite manipulative, isn't she?
Yeah, that's it. Quite an interesting
Yeah, it's
character
quite.
because he's kind of got the upper hand over Harold because he's kind of
Mm.
smitten with her, and yeah, treats him really cruelly. To be honest, isn't it? It's not a nice way to go about just sort of having fun.
No, because
I
I think
suppose if he misread it, maybe she thought it was
mm,
just a bit of fun and what have you. But
because she was
this
quite
is
well off and a lot more sort of with it than Harold, wasn't
yeah,
she? And
yeah.
yeah, she sort of gets him in, and like you said, I think it's a bit of fun to her. Just
Mm.
she's married, isn't she?
She's married, yeah, and then,
Mm.
then I think the sad, right at the end, you see she's got another sort of similar tradesman to Harold that's there at the door waiting, sort of thing.
Oh
And
God, yeah. Gets a different
and the
bloke
old,
with
it's a nice one where the old man's kind of, stepping up for him and looking out
it.
for him and going, you're going to get made a mug of here, sort of thing. And
Yeah, fair
but
play.
just for that plot point, I think that sort of makes it a really sort of poignant episode. I think just having that in it.
Because Albert does say, doesn't he, like he's been through all that.
Yeah,
Is that the one as well where he follows him around on the bike?
yeah. He follows him on the bike, so he's sort of on the car.
Yeah.
And like I say, he spends the time in the cafe, doesn't he? And I think he doesn't he. I think he either falls asleep. He's there all day, pretty much, and the lady's
Yeah.
like, now sort of thing. So I don't know about you, but my preference there is Monique, just because I think she's a bit nicer. She's a bit more rounded. Like you say, she can't communicate brilliantly with him, but she seems to like him. She's sort of smitten.
Yeah. Yeah, I think for that I'd pick Monique as well, because Dorothy, I just think is a bit. He's so harsh on Harold, and I know he's, like you said, at his age, he should know better, really. But he gets sucked in. He's generally smitten with her, and on an intellectual level, I think, and I think to him, she's a step up.
Yes.
So he'd be, like marrying up, even though she's already married. But and again, you see, like you said, you see the relationship between Harold and Albert.
Yeah.
Albert trying to give him advice, Harold not listening, and then getting hurt.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
So
So,
yeah, I
we've
think
got Marcia and Monique so far. So carrying on then, so we've got paired up next, Nemini Wagstaff, which is I had to check the spelling of that, but so
careful
she's
how
in
you
A
say
Star Is
that.
Born,
Yeah.
and is it fairly famous actress, isn't it? Actually, is it she in a Bond film? I'm sure I've seen her in Wagstaff. Margaret Nolan, yeah. So she pops up in Goldfinger.
Oh, is she? Oh, right.
Yeah,
Okay.
she was Dink in Goldfinger. She gets, I think is she the one that gets covered in gold, even, I think. She might be.
Is she?
Let's have a look. Oh no, she didn't, but she was in painted gold in the title sequence. So she's not
Ah, right. Okay.
Goldfinger paints gold, but she's the one who gets
So in A Star Is Born, so she's the reason that Albert says Harold joined the Amateur Dramatic
oh
Society
yeah.
because he said all you're interested in is knocking off the leading lady. So
Yeah.
she is a bit one dimensional, I suppose she is, because she's sort of this not brassy but quite buxom, woman that
Yes,
Harold's after.
glamourish sort of
Mm,
lady. She doesn't seem that taken with Harold, does she? She's
no,
almost kind of, I won't say irritated, but there's a bit where they're kind of he's forgetting his lines and he's kind of having to hold her close, but he can't quite get his lines. Yeah, it just seems a bit.
he's a
She's
bit distracted, isn't he?
irritated by him.
Yeah, I think it's a bit of an age difference as well. I don't think she would be interested
No,
in him. Um,
and that's another reason I picked her against. So the other one is Melanie. She's up against Melanie, and she's the lots of MELs and M. So we've
there
got
is.
Marcia, Melanie, Monique. They're like the M's, aren't they, Galton and Simpson?
Yeah.
So she's the one who he nearly marries in an Afterwards Act, and she is said to be quite a bit younger, isn't she?
Yeah.
Years or so younger, I think. And she doesn't have a huge part. She sort of comes into the church after, a little bit into the episode,
Yeah.
and again doesn't seem very fond of Harold. And realizes it's a mistake, and then that's it. So
Yeah, because we never see there's no build up, is there? It's just
no,
it starts off, and you've got Harold, the Steptoes in church, just
yeah,
waiting for Melanie to turn up, and then
yeah.
she doesn't really say a lot.
No. But again, I just thought it was interesting. Two women that Harold, a little bit younger than him, that he's admired and what have you, and neither
Mm,
seem that bothered by him really. I would say Melanie's probably arguably slightly more bothered because she went as far as getting engaged and getting to a church with him.
yeah,
But I mean, it's worth it alone just for the guest characters in the episode, isn't it? Molly Sutton.
yeah. Because I think do we see Pottier or Rita Webb? Is she in
Yeah, we
that?
see Peter Webb.
I think that's
Yeah,
the first time we see her, and then
yeah.
is once more. So it's worth it just for her
Just for
appearance
that.
alone.
Yeah.
And
So
anything with
yeah,
the
by
Steptoe
my
family.
reckoning, and by all means disagree, but I think Melanie just by a shade because she just seems like a little bit more interested in him. I mean, Nemean is good, but again doesn't give him Not giving
Yeah,
off
I don't think
meant to be a funny
it's
character, is
not.
she?
Yeah, Nemesis. Yeah, like you said, if you want for that amateur dramatics, she wouldn't give him second look.
No, no.
Um, so yeah,
In fact,
Melanie.
she seems to sort of, when Albert shows him up once again and ends up getting the lead role, she seems to be sort of draped on him a little bit and
Yeah.
a bit more going where the spotlight is, I suppose. So
So we got Melanie beats Nemini.
Melanie, yes, right, and then so final pairing. I've just made that bold. There we go.
So which one we got? Daphne.
So yeah,
Um,
Daphne, who is well, yeah, potentially the mother of Harold's son. And Zeta, I went with the Steptoe and Son the movie. I thought I'd just throw a bit of a
yeah,
curve in there. Again, both people that Harold is clearly well, he ends up marrying Zeta, doesn't he? In the film.
yeah. So what? So how's she introduced? I think she turns up, doesn't she? At the she turns up
So,
at the
sorry, so
Steptoe.
Daphne, yeah,
Daphne, beg your pardon. Yeah,
yeah. So Daphne appears with the baby, and yeah, basically is spinning a story that is Harold's. Um, yeah, and
because I remember the
so
weird thing about her. Because I remember she's in Rising Damp, isn't she?
she is.
Also with a baby.
Yeah, I wonder if they cast her Rising Down
Yeah.
afterwards based on the fact she'd done a similar sort of role, hadn't she? It would
Because
have
Rigsby thinks Miss Jones is the mother.
yeah. Oh, there's
He's
also
like, and she was it Miss Jones. She goes, "Oh, I don't know the father. I only saw him by or the light of a cigarette." He was like, "Miss Jones."
yeah. Oh gosh, yeah.
But
It's a
yeah,
great.
but it's weird, isn't it? How they have her playing two different characters but the same plot.
Yeah, yeah. And again, I can't quite remember how it comes about that it works out that it's not his. Is it? Is it?
Yeah, it's something to do with the party and that she remembers or something afterwards
Yeah,
that.
that's yeah. So again, it's this idea that Harold has a future in his grasp and it's taken off
Mm.
him. You know,
Yeah, that is horrible. That. Yeah.
yeah, both scenarios, and both involve a baby as well because Zeta then has a baby, doesn't she?
Mm. Yeah.
She leaves with Harold after leaving him. Um,
Because I
so yeah,
think
so both kind of women
I
that he's
think Albert says to me as the baby got a moustache.
yeah, both women he's been involved with, and yeah, just end up ditching him really.
Yeah, he doesn't get a lot of luck. He's
He
pointing it
does,
out a
does he,
lot.
poor
This we
sap?
don't know. I
Yeah,
guess he's had two fake babies, two
yeah,
two women
yeah.
turn out.
No,
He's
that's
had
it.
yeah.
So again, I don't know what you think. Again, for me, probably
I'd go with
just
Zeta. I
yeah,
think I'd go
just
with Zeta.
fleshed out a
Yeah,
bit more, isn't she? And
much more impact on the
you
steps.
can
So I
see
know
the
we don't.
situation she has. For example, she has to take
Mm,
the old man on holiday with them on the honeymoon. It's things
yeah,
like
that's tough, isn't it? That especially where he's the bit where he's not only listening, but he's watching them through
oh
the
gosh,
keyhole. I mean, that is rough.
aged well. That is it. No.
Oh God. And then he
Then
takes
does
the
the old
old
man
and
get the stomach bug? And they have to take him
yeah,
back.
he eats that dodgy
Yeah,
lobster or something, doesn't he? And
that's it.
he has to come back, doesn't he? But they
And
can only get two tickets back.
that's it.
So
She stays
Zeta
out there. At
stays, yeah.
the end, isn't it? Really for him.
So
Yeah, but
yeah,
again,
and I
like
think
anything with these things, you can't have Harold married because it just wouldn't.
no,
It'd be a different show. Yeah, just like Dell couldn't leave for Australia in Only Fools and Horses, you could never have
no
any
millionaire who wants
carry on
yeah.
like that. And arguably you couldn't have had him stay millionaire for it to come back.
No,
So
that's right. Yeah, we said that before, didn't we? As soon as they become millionaires, it's sort of just the
yeah,
threat is gone, and the
that's it.
whole,
That's it. You
they're
kind
not trying to make it
of happy
anymore because they've
ending, isn't it?
made it. Where'd you
Almost.
go?
Yeah, you kind of
Um,
like the chase, don't you, a little bit?
if the Steptoes had money, that would sort of ruin it, wouldn't it?
Yeah. That's no, that's it. They're always down on their luck, aren't they? And yeah. So hang on, I'm
But
just
no, some good ideas here, mate. But yeah, Christ, he didn't have any luck with his love life.
no.
Yeah,
So the semi-finals then. So that then leaves us. So we've got what we got. We got Marcia versus Zeta
yeah,
and Monique versus Melanie. So yeah. So we've got so Marcia is again just a quick reminder the So to Bed
mm,
character, and then we've got Zeta who marries him, but then basically ditches him. So again, Zeta given more to do because it's a film, and there's much
Yeah.
more to that, isn't there? Marcia, maybe a bit more than he can handle, if you compare the two. Because
And
was Zeta a stripper? Is that how she?
yeah, I think Marcia seemed more. That's a tough one, that, but she seemed more his age and more
Yes.
a bit like she wouldn't take any shit.
Yeah.
Um,
Which you might need, particularly if he's going to break free of the
hmm.
old man. He probably
Yeah,
needs that.
exactly. Yeah, she'd tell him, either you leave or I'm
Yeah.
going, sort of
Yeah.
thing. Where I think, yeah, Zeta less so because she was pregnant and
Yeah. I suppose being
but
a bit younger, maybe find it hard to sort of stand up to the old man.
yeah, yeah, and
Um,
he really didn't like her, did he? Didn't Zeta?
no.
Albert did not like
But
Zeta.
then, would there be much future in Marcia because she was married? Wasn't her husband either in jail or just?
Yeah, that's a good point. God, he does go for the married women, doesn't he?
He does. He does. Yeah. So now, let's say it only ends up being an affair, then it's again, it's not going to end well
Mm.
because it's never any, you know, continuity to it. It's just kind of snatched moments, isn't it? I suppose. So again, tough one to decide between those two. But I think my vote is to go with
Zeta,
Marcia. Feel
Marcia. Oh,
yeah.
yeah,
She
Marcia.
she if she wasn't married, that she would be ideal for him.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Yeah, that's a tough one.
But if you think Zeta, mate, by all means goes for Zeta. That's what the
I
whole point of this tournament is
I
to
think I
rate it.
do, but I'm trying to think. Yeah, I think it's the marriage thing, the fact that
Yeah.
Marcia is already married, like you
Okay,
said.
no, fair enough. No, that's fair enough. That is a great
But
song. But
and
if we're
Zeta,
looking
I
for the
think
ultimate,
she's just got more impact, and she's.
yeah,
I know it's the film, so it's a longer, but
yeah.
and she
If we're
comes.
looking for the ultimate ideal woman
Yeah,
for Harold, then yeah, probably Zeta.
but I couldn't see him having kids with Marcia.
No, she probably
She's probably already got him. Yeah.
mood for that, or wouldn't be, wouldn't be
Mm.
up for that, wouldn't be bothered by that. So, yeah, you know
Yeah.
what? You've swung the swingometer
That's
back.
right, yeah.
Yeah, no, Zeta it is then. So Zeta through in that round, and then so we've got Zeta there.
So what have we got
Right,
left?
and then we've got Monique, the French lady from Steptoe Cart versus
Wee
Melanie.
wee
And
versus
after
Melon.
that, I mean, yeah, this is what about you? Pretty conclusive, really. I mean, if it hadn't been for the old man and his
Yeah.
landering ways, then
Yeah.
Harold could be very happy with Monique.
Yeah, she was lovely as well. Seemed I did get a bit like I know she went out on a date with Harold, but I don't know if she was that into him. I
No,
didn't get I thought like Harold like 100% he was, he was into it, but I don't I think a lot of it was she was being friendly and the fact that,
yeah, maybe,
he's
yeah,
English and she was in a, she's in a foreign
yeah.
country.
Didn't quite know how to sort of let it down gently, I guess, in
Mm,
the communication problem, a barrier there, isn't
yeah,
there?
but no, definitely I'd go with Monique.
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 Yeah, because again, Melanie, again, we don't argue because we don't see enough of what she does,
No, yeah.
or how they met. Or it's never explained, is it? It's never really touched.
No.
It's just, yeah, and it's a clever way to do it, isn't it? Avoid all the exposition and just get straight to the wedding and go right. Okay, this is what's
Yeah.
happening, and yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, we start off at almost the end, don't we?
Yeah. So the final then is Zeta versus Monique. Um,
Oh.
so yeah,
If it was a fist fight,
what do we think it does? Yeah.
Zeta would win. But so we're basing it on impact.
Um,
Are
yeah.
we basing it on who's had the better lines?
Yeah. I mean, so again, we said before, Zeta's given more to do.
Yeah,
And Harold's a gentleman to her, isn't he? He treats her like a lady, unlike a lot of the he's been, quite enlightening hearing the real life stories of what happened on the set for the actress.
yeah, definitely. Yeah,
I think life imitating art a bit there. That was kind of how she was actually treated by some of the cast. So
bit of a darker element to it
darker
then when
element to it,
when
definitely.
she said, yeah, she
happened
said
today.
about how she was treated and about how Wilf was treated, with the jokes and the jibes about him being gay.
Not pleasant at all. So
No.
again, that just gives a little bit more of an edge to her as.
So, was she Carolyn Seymour? Carolyn Seymour?
Yeah, that's it. But again, there is that twist, isn't there? That she starts nice, but then ends up being unpleasant to him. But again, is that because she can see he's never going to leave the old man? He's always going to be part of the story, isn't he?
Yeah.
So yeah, you do think. So if you had her versus Monique, again, like you say, there's not a lot of time to develop a chemistry there, and it stopped short pretty quick, isn't it? But it could have been something pretty decent between them there.
And you got the language barrier.
Yeah, but again, Harold was, when he put his mind to it, he was going to go and get on a boat, wasn't he? And like around the world, wasn't he? So I'm sure he'd learn French, wouldn't he? He'd have a go at it, and
Oui, he would. Well, it'd be Del Boy French, wouldn't it? It'd be.
yeah, it would be. It would.
Petit déjeuner.
Yeah. So I don't know. That's a tough call. I think if things had panned out differently with Zeta, then the old man hadn't been such a pain, then they could have been happy. But ultimately, I would say, Harold's not meant to be with somebody, but if he was,
no, that's the thing, in it. He's with all the love interests he has. We know he's not going to last. Because again, it would sort of end it, wouldn't it? Because Harold would either have to move out, or she'd have to move in with him, and that would drive anyone potty.
What do you think, Daz? What we're going to call it? We're going to go with Zeta?
My gut says Zeta, about 60-40 Zeta, I'd say.
Okay. Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah, just because he's more.
Close, isn't it? It's close.
I think, like I said, I think the film, because I prefer that film, and it's more screen time for her.
Yeah.
Whereas in the episode, we've got about 26 minutes, haven't we?
Yeah. No, this is it. She was probably the most suitable for him to marry. Someone who was trying to escape her own life, wasn't she? She clearly wasn't enjoying her job she did or whatever. And Harold was good to her and didn't seem to be. It wasn't as an obvious an age gap. With Monique, she does seem quite young. Admittedly, she's in the earlier series when Harold himself is younger, supposedly. Well, Harry H. Corbett definitely is younger, isn't he? In those series.
Yeah.
But if you were to weigh it all up, and we
think
have
Zeta wins that. Yeah.
Go. Fantastic. How do you think that went then? Is that all right?
Yeah, I enjoy that. That's probably the Harold's love interest is a tougher one to do. I'm glad we've done that one because, like you said, we know he's doomed any love interest with Harold. Whereas like other characters, say like when we do, like one-off, say gentleman characters, that's going to be a lot easier.
There's some real standouts, isn't there? They're just really kind of obvious. Cool. So
good.
Should we move on to the gentleman characters?
Yeah, sounds good. So gentleman characters, and we're just going by all series, and we're just gonna.
Yeah, again, I've spanned across the series. I don't think I've included the film on this one. But again, feel free to throw in any honourable mentions. By all means, obviously, listeners do email in or tweet or whatever. Is it called tweeting these days? What do you call it?
Yeah, I think it was X in it, but you don't retweet now. You repost. I think they call it. I still call it tweet.
If you agree with us, by all means get involved. It's a discussion that that Steptoe fans are very welcome to join in on. We know about experts by any means. It's just our bit of fun to try and discuss the characters, isn't it? I guess so. So I've gone with piano owner because he's not actually given a name. I can't believe it. How many times I've watched that episode?
No, just the piano owner in the piano.
I'm sorry, but
What's the matter?
your boots.
Oh?
No, just stay where you are a moment. Now, what size are you?
Pardon?
Your Wellingtons, what size are they?
Oh, 9.
Nine slippers. 7, 8, 8.5, 9, 9. Here we are. Now put these slippers on. Come along.
I'm not stopping.
They should fit.
I've got work to do.
It's a carpet, you understand. It's very valuable. It's antique Persian.
Oh, I see.
So if you wouldn't mind putting the slippers on.
Oh, yeah. All right. I'll just sit down and pull my boots off. Hey?
Not on that chair. It's rather delicate. It's Sheraton.
Oh, yes, of course. Sheraton. Oh, sorry.
And he has a huge role in it as well, and we discussed
Yeah.
that episode in detail, haven't we? And really enjoyed it. But yeah, he doesn't have a name, so
Because is he? I'm just thinking, is he in the Young Ones? Does he play
He
Neil's
does.
dad?
Plays Neil's dad, yeah. That's right.
Yeah, because he doesn't really change a lot.
No,
He's
that
got that.
was the link we made. Sort of 20 years later, he's kind of not really aged.
Do you
Yeah,
know what? There's definitely a link with the Young Ones because also the vicar.
the Vickers
He's
in the
back
Disney,
in the
isn't
Young
he?
Ones.
Yeah, Baz, come and see Baz, and he'll give you a job or something.
Yeah, and
I
was it?
must stress that you have to have a degree.
You have to have a degree. He's like, yeah, you see Ben Elton. We're young adults, and he's
Oh,
like,
it is, yeah, Ben Elton, yeah.
he's so cringy in it. It's like one of those, the youth shows that
Oh,
they
the setup's great though, isn't it? Because Rick Mayall's like, "Excuse me, I'm trying to watch my favorite program."
nosing around.
Nosing around.
Yeah,
That little bit.
and then he cuts to the vicar. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's going. Yeah, you must have a degree. So how are they going to have a degree at that age? It's like,
Yeah.
yeah. And then you see Rick that kick the telly through. He goes, "The voice of youth. They're still
Yeah.
wearing flared trousers." Yeah, it's brilliant that.
Oh god.
Yeah, so the piano, because I remember his voice is very distinctive and he's very posh. And
Yes.
it's like, you there.
You down there. You down there. That's it. He shouts to me in first sight of him, shouting off a tower block. Yeah.
And he has a right go at Harold, doesn't he? Because
Yeah. Oh
Albert
gosh.
swinging a lead and pretending his chest is. He goes, "Oh, me lungs." He goes, "Any chance of a brandy?"
Yeah. Oh yeah. Brandy if it's Andy. Yeah.
And one of our favorite quotes: "Brandy if it's Andy, beer if it's Nia."
Yeah.
Here we are.
Move, you piano.
What's going on?
Oh, it's all right, Harold. Don't get up. I'll manage.
Well, I said, don't you think you ought to be helping your father instead of just sitting back and watching him?
I have you know.
There you are, old man. I expect you can do with this.
Oh, thank you, sir. God bless you, sir. How I needed that.
Yes, well, now you take it easy, and you mind those lungs.
Look, I think you should know.
It'll soon be dark, you know.
Great. And yeah, obviously, he doesn't get his comeuppance as such, but they can't get it out. It's not happening. It's clearly well out of their capabilities to deal with this. So they just leave it wedged in the door. So he has to then unpick it, and we never find out what happens, do we?
No, they just leave it there.
Yeah.
Again, that's like the frustration of like having to work with someone you don't get on with, to do a physical job, and you're just stuck there getting more and more frustrated, and they're just arguing, and everything Harold does is wrong. Then he gets it wedged in the doorway, and it's just.
Yeah. But it's an interesting plot because we never really saw that again very often, where they were both out and about, working. Later on in episodes, the old man would stay in the yard more.
Yeah, he doesn't go out on the rounds. Albert.
So it was quite a nice chance early on to see them having to solve a problem together. I guess obviously he needed somebody, anybody just to lift it. I mean, you wouldn't pick Albert normally, but if you've got no one else to go to, then surely could have found someone down the Skinner's Arms, some
for
Blair or Podder or something like that. Who was
one of the other totters.
Yeah.
But I think didn't he do that because he didn't want to, because he knew the piano was worth a few quid. He didn't want to have to split the money with anyone else.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
So I suppose if he got one of the other totters, they'd be thinking, I'll have 50% of that.
And the old Joanna,
yeah, you'll never play the Joanna again.
So he's up against Mr. Stonelake. Now, if you don't remember Mr. Stonelake, again, that's another character or actor we've talked about who had a couple of roles. He played a police officer in Robbery with Violence. But Mr. Stonelake, he's the old my old man Satori. He's the Labour representative for the ward.
Right. I couldn't remember him. So
trying to impress to become the candidate, the MP candidate.
Is it Dudley Foster?
Dudley Foster. Yeah.
Brilliant actor. Yeah.
Yeah. So we chatted about him, didn't we, before?
Got this smarmy sort of lectury way about him.
Again, sort of gives off an air of of being better than Harold, and
Mm,
even though he's a Labour, Labour's supposed to be about socialism and everyone's the same. He's kind of putting him down, isn't he? And yeah, very quick
yeah,
to make us.
very patronising to him, isn't he?
Yeah. So again, sort of similar to the Piano Man, kind of gets the wrong end of the stick a little bit about Harold's intentions, and personally, I think Harold would have made a really good councillor or MP or whatever because he's a man
Yeah,
of
definitely. I mean, he genuinely meant what his pledges. He would have followed them through.
yeah.
Um,
So I wonder if
but
there's a little bit of social commentary from Galton and Simpson of saying, actually a lot of the time these
mm,
things are already stitched up. If you are born with a silver spoon or you are,
mm,
in the right club, then you're already an MP. You don't need to, or you're going to be selected as an MP. So most people don't get a look in.
definitely. I think yeah, politically they went on a bit of a journey, didn't they? They were, very strong Labour supporters, and then I think I can't remember whether it was Galton or Simpson got a bit frustrated with
Mm,
politics, and I think they wanted to show,
yeah.
politically,
Yeah.
the not corruption, but the like you said, the sort of attitude on
Oh,
both
yeah. I
sides,
mean, it,
Labour and Tory.
it happens around here. The
Mm,
person who was selected as the Conservative candidate it was parachuted in because it's a safe seat. It's like anything.
mm.
It's not really a person who knows the area or born here or whatever. I'm not saying you
It's
have to be.
horrible then, isn't it? It ends up being
Yeah,
like Farage, and it never in Clacton,
yeah,
It's
exactly. Just becomes a political ploy, doesn't it, to climb the ladder? But
yeah.
anyway, we're veering
We,
down the
we,
political path. Let's bring it
we
back to.
were
Um,
so
So yeah, so we've got him versus Mr. Stonelake. Again, Stonelake isn't, perhaps has slightly less screen time than Mr. Piano Guy, and yeah, just quite unpleasant in
mm,
general. But we're going for this is sort of gentleman, isn't it? We're looking at and again impact they have. This guy, the piano guy, was offering them a free piano. They can move it
mm.
themselves, so sort of good intentions. Um, but yeah, he's interesting. He's quite a bit of a foil for the old man to pick fault with him and sort of laugh at him a little bit behind his back and fancy slippers and the
Oh
like.
yeah, what was it? The Turkish casuals or something?
Yeah, that's it. And don't brush against the walls type thing, and sort of like a prototype Mrs. Bouquet, wasn't he? In a way.
Yeah, it was very my walls.
Um, but also,
Yeah,
again, he is quite what's the word? Judgmental about Harold, isn't he? Assuming that Harold
very. Yeah, but he's been
just
sucked in by Albert, and he's playing
yeah,
the
yeah,
victim,
that's
going
it.
all me
Yeah.
heart, all me lungs.
Yeah.
Um,
So again, for me, just as screen presence and in being enjoyable, I thought, nothing against Dudley Foster in this role, but I think the piano guy was just that little bit more of an interesting character, really, wasn't he?
yeah, you convinced me. I was thinking because he comes back into it, Mr. Stonelake, but
Yeah.
as characters, I know piano owner's not even named, but he
Right.
does, like you said, he's very Hyacinth Bouquet,
Yeah.
and he's
Yeah.
like you can tell a good actor or actress like
Oh, yeah.
in each scene, it's
Yeah.
hard to be up against Harry Corbett and Rolf Bramble, but he stands out, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does, and I've said to you before that's one of my favorite episodes of series
Mm.
one because it's just very simple plot and it builds and you don't know how it's going to end and it kind of just
Of
it
course,
ends in quite a
you
funny
have the
way.
ending, didn't he, with
A
the
fantastic payoff line, isn't there?
the bleeding.
Yeah, what goes up? Bleeding well sustained.
And they had to get permission, didn't they, for the word bleeding. So yeah,
Yeah,
no, I think Piano Man. Go with
Piano
Piano
Man,
Man.
fantastic. Okay, up next we've got two quite brief characters. I don't know if you remember the bank manager from Men of Property.
Was he
So
also
Men
in
of
Fawlty
Property,
Towers? I think he
he
did. He
may
took.
well be. He's been in several things. He's been in Rising Damp. He plays the vicar in Rising Damp that Rigsby gets round to exercise the house.
Oh
Um,
God, he does. Yeah.
yeah, and yeah, a bit amazing bit where Rigsby's thinking it's the Grey Lady and he gets a crucifix. And he goes, "Begone, you bloody fiend!" And it's the
Oh, it's the
vicar.
Vic. Oh yeah, the
I'm
one who's
so
always playing
here, you rang the
cricket.
vicarage.
Yeah, no, I don't. I
Not
can
for
remember
national
the.
health, Mr. Rigsby.
Yeah, God, I can remember the bank manager. Is that when they're trying to like Frankie Barrow's been in there, opened up an
Yeah,
account,
yeah,
and they think because he's come from the West Country, he's a bit green,
yeah,
so they're trying to make money off
yeah.
basically get an overdraft when they've got no money, sort of thing.
That's it, essentially, yeah, because they want to buy the leasehold on the house, don't they, or something?
Yeah, and they end up taking him out for the evening, don't they, him and his wife?
And then they ends up, yeah, inevitably the old man gets carried away at the gambling tables,
Oh God,
and they end up owing the
the
casino.
money, yeah.
So not only not able to buy the house, they now owe money to. So it's kind of backfired. So it's a little bit like the siege of Steptoe Street, where they get the debt written off, and then to celebrate, he wants to go out for a Chinese. He's going to put on the slate.
On the slate, yeah.
Oh, here we go again.
Yeah, back to square one. But no, I think the one you've got him up against, I do like. I know you're not a big fan of
Yeah, we
Story.
chatted about this Lowe's story, didn't we? I just don't.
Loathe Story, yeah.
I don't like flashbacks. It's probably what it
Yeah,
is.
I was gonna say that's what you don't like. I remember you said about the flashback is when he's with this character is a psychiatrist,
Psychiatrist. Yeah.
and the one who's drawing the breasts, and he's just drawing this.
Which
Just
is,
obsessed
quite
with them.
interesting. Miranda, if you watch the Miranda episode where the psychiatrist, she did similar. She had the psychiatrist being bored. It was writing a Christmas present list. So yeah, you do wonder kind of, what's actually.
What was Basil say? They're all mad as March is.
Yeah. How often do you manage it?
Yeah.
How often do you manage it, you and your wife?
About average.
Well, yeah. Same as the next one.
I do something about that episode because I do like the sort of not the flashback, but it just shows Harold and Albert when they were younger. There's a glaring error in that episode though because they flash back to the Skinner's Arms, don't they? But
Yes.
when it shows Harold outside a pub, it's something totally different. It's called like the Mason's Arms or something.
Yeah.
It was obviously wasn't the Skinner's Arms, but yes. What do you think of the psychiatrist guy?
I think the character itself is quite funny. Is he the one he says, was your mother with quite a large
Large bosom.
I think that just gives him a little bit of a comic edge and something bit
He's
different.
brushing off
He played it straight, couldn't he? They could have just written him as a straight character, and there's no, he's just literally there to listen to Harold's exposition of why he hates the old man or whatever. So for that reason alone, I'm happy to go with him really because I think the bank manager isn't given a lot to do.
He's not. No, I think the psychiatrist, like you were saying, he brushes off the cow shit. That Harold's trodden on.
That's it.
And
Yeah,
he's like, I think he's a bit more comic.
he is. He is. Yeah. So yeah, if it hadn't been for the flashbacks, I would have probably. I don't know. I'll probably go back and revisit that and really love that episode. It's like anything, isn't it?
Of course, that's the episode with Bunty, isn't it? With Joanna Lumley.
Yeah, it was. I was going to say it was John Lumley in it. Yeah, that's a really good shout. It's a really good shout. So let's just make a note. So we've got the piano man. And
the psychiatrist.
Psychiatrist. Yeah,
Has he got a name, the psychiatrist? Did they
might
mention
be
his
named.
name?
I just quickly grabbed I thought we'd know enough about him that we wouldn't have to worry too much about him naming him, but he probably has got a name.
Yeah, it's interesting the amount of characters that didn't actually have a name.
No, that's it, isn't it? Yeah, they are just, or if they were, maybe it was on the paperwork, but never said in the script. Never actually came up in the script because sometimes that happens, doesn't it? Maybe it gets cut, or there's just no need for them to have their name spoken.
Yeah.
One of them things. Okay, next up is Mr. Greenwood from Live Now, Paye Later.
Oh, what a character!
Absolutely.
He's sort of funny looking anyway because he's a bit like Mr. Barraclough sort of dap,
that's it. Mr. Barraclough, spot on. I've been wondering who reminded me of. That's it.
He's sort of tall and like with the glasses, and he just looks funny.
Yeah, like an early Foggy from Last of Summer Wine.
Yeah, Foggy. Yeah,
great mate. Thank you. I've been wondering for all these years.
Yeah, I thought he gives me that sort of vibe. But I love how. Because it's a way, just the dialogue he's got, and you'll find we're much more humane these days, government departments, and it's sort of so far ahead of his time. If you think like now with the benefit system, and
oh gosh,
they're trying to overhaul it. Well, that's what they were talking about there, and about. So the plot of that is Albert is still claiming some sort of is it disability or some sort of allowance?
He's claiming his wife's pension, isn't it?
Pension, that's it.
So he goes, basically goes and collects a pension.
And she's been dead 33 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. And was he claiming for Muriel, his daughter.
Yeah,
That he hasn't
Muriel.
got.
That shows up later, doesn't it? That his
Yeah.
daughter Muriel. So he has to get Harold to dress up as a lady.
So
But
Mr. Greenwood, I let the acting is brilliant because where he how quickly he gets pissed, and
oh
the
gosh, yeah.
drunken acting is good.
Yeah, it's done well, and that can be done. So that can go wrong, can't it? You
Yeah.
can get characters that just they lose it a little bit if they're drunk, but actually it's just all threaded nicely, isn't it? Because it
He
turns
doesn't
up not
overplay it, does he? It's not
pleasant.
overacted.
Oh no, definitely not.
Mm.
He's not an unpleasant man, but he's a man there to do a job, isn't he? And he's kind of very
Yeah.
much like this is what needs to happen. But then they quickly realise the best way is just to get him sloshed and like
Yeah. Cheers.
gloss over it. Is it a drop of not? Is it a drop of gold watch they give him or something like
Yeah,
that?
tropical. Yeah, and I like the way they're like every couple of seconds they're going, "Oh, cheers! I'll drink to that." And then after a while, he's doing it, and he goes, "Oh, cheers!"
Yeah.
He's loving it then.
Yeah.
Now, that's a very serious omission.
Hang on a minute.
Cheers.
He must be a bit of a lightweight because he's not there long, is he? And he's already sort of
Yeah.
up by after about 5 minutes, isn't he?
And then he
But
starts singing Jerusalem.
in Jerusalem, doesn't he try to sort of get up and then walks around the room and then sort of ends up falling back down again? And
Yeah, he's I think Harold's helping him out the door, and he's like, "You're right getting home." He goes, "Yeah, I've got my car." It's like, "Oh no."
I shall not cease from mental strife, nor shall my sword sleep in my hand, till we have built Jerusalem in England's green and pleasant land. I used to sing the alto part of that naturally, you know.
Mind where you're putting your feet. The horse, you know.
And that's not the last we see of him. We do see him again, don't we? So that another chap turns up first, but then we see Mr. Greenwood again, and he turns down a drink flat, doesn't he? Next time,
Yeah, he's like, "Oh no."
yeah, for obvious reasons. So we've got him up against Mr. He's actually called James Galton. I wonder if that was named after Galton and Simpson. I wonder.
James Galton.
But he's played by Derek Nimmo, who's quite a famous actor. But he's the antique dealer in Cross Swords.
Right. Okay.
I wouldn't say forgettable. It's not an episode I've watched as frequent as other episodes.
Yeah.
But I just put him in because he was quite a little bit snobbish and he gives off the vibe of like you guys, what you doing here, sort of thing, almost when they turn up.
Yeah.
But yeah, they've aren't they going to get something valued? Is it like a
Ah, I remember him now. Yeah, it's quite a youngish guy, isn't he?
yeah.
He's very posh voice, isn't he?
That's it. I think the old man's trying to eat his sandwiches while he's in the shop, and
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, I just put him in because Derek Nimmo, like I say, he's quite a famous actor. But yeah, don't know about you.
And you got, I think, because he's so opposite to the Steptoes, it works well, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. There's definitely that contrast, that class is sort of brought back into it a little bit, isn't it? But yeah, I don't know about you, Daz, but Mr.
Does
Green,
he? Yeah. So does he appear again then? James Galton.
I don't think so. I think he's just one scene. in it, as far as I recall. People listening probably screaming at the thing, going, "No, he comes back." But yeah,
No, I think definitely Mr. Greenwood.
Yeah,
It's
fantastic.
a lot of fun, yeah.
And then finally, we've got Timothy Stanhope. Now, I'll put the vicar. We can save the vicar if you like, and put someone else in. I know because we could talk about the vicar quite a bit, couldn't we?
But the vicar, right? I didn't realise. You know, his name was Reverend Charles Cakebread.
Never knew that.
No, I found that out a couple of days ago when I looked at this, but I'm sure Cakebread does ring a bell. I'm sure it's mentioned at some point, but I didn't realise it was Reverend Charles Cakebread. Because they only ever refer to him as the vicar, don't they? Is he on the E-roll again?
Well, we could replace him and save the vicar. So save the vicar and replace him with the guy from the Three Feathers. So the man who turns up to buy the commode. Is it the antique commode?
Oh God, yeah, the antique
'cause
commode.
it's got the three. Yeah, it's got three things on it, hasn't it? Just looking up his name, if he's got a name or not. Actually, hang on.
So we got Timothy Stanhope in it, any old iron.
Paul
So,
Copeland. Yeah, I think that's him. So
yeah,
yeah, so he basically, in a nutshell, yeah, it's a con, isn't it? It's a con that they're playing on him,
yeah.
where he. Did we cover this episode? I think we covered it, didn't we?
Yeah, you explained that one to me because it
And I
took me a
explained it.
while. Mm.
Got it again now. Yeah, it's a
Because
long
it's
story as to how Harold's conned basically by his own greed.
yeah. Because I
Old man
think
works it out, doesn't he?
he pays over the odds for something, doesn't he?
Yeah,
And then thinking it's worth more, and then you get the husband
that's
of the
it.
wife who sold it turn up and say, "Oh, this is worth £2,000, what have you?
Yeah.
I'll give you £1,000 to have it back." And then
Yes.
it tests Harold's greed whether he'll accept that and get rid of it, or he goes, "No, we're going to sell it for more." From what I remember, but it's
Yeah.
confusing. I find the con because
It,
it's quite a clever
yeah, it's a clever
idea.
con, isn't it? Yeah,
Mm,
yeah. It's very well done. So yeah, small character, but again, someone who's got the upper hand on well, at least Harold. You know, Albert's not
mm,
really involved in it as such, but yeah, he's up against Timothy Stanhope, so he's in Any Old Iron,
yeah.
and he's the one who takes quite a shine to Harold. And yeah, Harold can't quite see it, can he? He doesn't sort of pick up on the vibe.
No, it's quite a wet. Like, do you remember when I think when we interviewed David Clayton, he said about how we mentioned that episode, and he said about how certain things is aged quite well considered, compared to other
Yeah,
sitcoms.
true.
Because gay characters in the 70s would be,
Yes, it's
Mr.
not portrayed in
Humphreys.
any kind of offensive way, is it? That you,
No, and he's not overly camp, and he's not,
no, no, not at all. No,
he's
it's
he's a bit effeminate sort of thing, and he's definitely interested in Harold, but
tends to be done, isn't
yeah,
it? It's
it's quite
yeah.
well done. Yeah, I think you could put it on telly now, and people, I don't think anyone would be offended by it.
No, it's the sort of thing, you probably have similar vibes in Benidorm and things like that, when
Mm,
characters sort of, you got a straight character and a homosexual character and one's
yeah,
the other one likes
but no,
them.
I do like that episode. I mean,
Yeah.
you got the play on words, any old iron,
Yeah, you
um,
have. Yeah. That's
which
it.
is that probably doesn't go down well now. But
No.
yeah, but I think I'd go with. Yeah, let's save the vicar. I'd say if it was it's Timothy Stanhope up against what was the gentleman's name in
He
Three
was.
Feathers?
Um, lost it again. Hang on. Can edit this out. Copeland. So it's
I'd go with yeah, Timothy Stanhope.
yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah.
And just bit more fleshed out character, isn't he? And he's got honest intentions, and yeah. But arguably, it does show up the old man as a bit of a bigot, which was ironic considering
Mm.
Wilfred Brambell was actually gay himself. So I wonder how
Yeah,
he's
that's a mad
dealing
twist,
with
isn't it?
that sort of
Mm.
story. Because he would have been, this was series 6, was it series 6? So he would have been probably, decriminalized by then. So he would have been,
Mm.
out, I guess. So yeah, interesting that he dealt with that and didn't say, oh, I'm not doing
Yeah, I wonder how I'm sure we said this before, but imagine if we could interview Wilfred now. I wonder how he felt about that,
it.
being, gay, um, but then playing a character that was very homophobic.
Yeah. I
You
mean, you
know,
might say, oh, that's just the role, isn't it? It's a role like any other role. If you play a dame, you're doing this. If you play a villain, you're doing this. You just play what's
yeah,
you, I guess. But no, you're right.
that's a
It's
good point.
interesting that because there's a lot of talk now, about characters they won't play against their type thing. There's a guy who was in. I don't know if you watched Prison Break. The main guy in Prison Break is actually gay in real life, and he says he won't play a straight character anymore because he's gay.
Oh, okay. Hmm.
Doing that.
Yes, I don't know. I don't think I agree with that because it should just be. I don't think you should concentrate on whether it's gay or straight. It should just be the
True
character and
character, isn't it?
the
You're an
motivation of
actor.
the
You
character. Yeah.
shoot a role, don't you? But yeah,
Mm.
I think that's sort of
It was a bit like with like I know you're a big fan Patrick McGowan, and he wouldn't do anything that was remotely romantic.
Oh,
Um,
interesting. Yeah.
yeah,
I can
because
see that.
there's an episode of The Prisoner where he's supposed to kiss
Yeah.
the one woman, and he strokes her ear and then just sort of pushes her face away, and they were amazed why he wouldn't do it. He just would not.
Interesting.
He wouldn't
But
kiss
arguably,
another
that
woman.
that character keeps it very ambiguous, doesn't it?
Yeah,
But at the same time, you can develop a character some way without completely going down the path, can't you? You know, it's not.
Yeah.
A kiss
Oh,
is
that's what
not.
we've done, mate. We've gone down a path here. So, so yeah, I go with Timothy.
Timothy Stanhope, right? So the semi-finals then. So we've got the piano owner versus Timothy Stanhope. That's the first pairing. And the psychiatrist versus Mr. Greenwood. So yeah, again, not very similar characters in the sense that, well, apart from being gentlemen, they are, one's basically interested in Harold for getting rid of a piano, one's interested in Harold for other reasons. So yeah, again, my argument, the piano owner again is just giving some funny things to do. He's a good foil for them. Timmy Stanhope's an interesting character. Just not one that's that memorable. I'll be honest. He's slightly not for any fault of his own, not for his acting or the directing or the script. It's just not as memorable an episode. So my backing is for the piano owner. I don't know if you agree, as well.
It's got to be the piano. Yeah, I always think though of right said Fred, have a cup of tea. Yeah, I always think of that now since we did the the musical one.
Oh, nice, yeah.
Because the words to Bernard Cribbins, right said Fred, it's with them trying to move something to get stuck, and then it's like
that's it, isn't it?
we was getting nowhere, so then we had a cup of tea.
That'd have been before that piano episode, maybe. I don't know when that came out, but
I don't know. I wonder if it was similar. Yeah, similar
slightly
time,
inspired by the other. I don't know.
but I think the Piano Man.
Yeah, Piano Man, fantastic. And then we have the psychiatrist versus Mr. Greenwood.
Oh no, that's straightforward for me.
Yeah,
Mr. Greenwood.
Mr. Greenwood. Yeah, again, psychiatrist. Yeah, like I say, I enjoy what he does, but he's not given a lot to work with, and beyond just like I say, being the there to listen to Harold and having a few funny bits, he doesn't have an impact that Mr. Greenwood does.
No, that's it. Those how good are those episodes as well? They're really like PAYE later and Lowe's story, and they're really. I don't know.
Season 7 is just
it's
golden.
so good,
absolutely golden. Right? And you just couldn't. Again, we talked about this many times. Just not there's anything wrong with any of the previous seasons, but they all had sort of very good episodes and good episodes. Whereas every episode in series 7 is just faultless, isn't it? It's
a belter.
Yeah, the Christmas special tacked on the end as well.
Desperate Hours and
if you had to show someone a season to say watch Steptoe, you'd
Porn Yesterday. That's another brilliant one. Porn Yesterday. That's another brilliant one.
Porn Yesterday, yeah. You're spoiling really anyone showing that for the first time because you'd say, "Oh no, you got to watch them all first to get to that." But and to be honest, that's probably where I got into Steptoe. I probably watched those episodes, probably repeated more. I think definitely the Christmas one and Live Now, PAYE later, and Divide and Stand. I remember those, watching them growing up.
They're a lot more visual as well, aren't they? Because they're the colour episodes.
Yeah.
And it's just like, and they've perfected the characters by that point. They've worked out the funniest bits of the characters, and it's just like with with what's the episode? You've got the Desperate Hours, and you've got like PAYE later, where they're dressing up as women.
Yeah, and then get chatted up by the randy old vicar.
Oh God, yeah. No, the ex-copper, isn't he?
Ex-copper, yeah. And then you've got obviously Star is Born, Men of Letters, which we were privileged to watch being performed live.
God. That couple of weeks I'll be seeing that again, mate. In Newport.
I'm very jealous of you, mate. I think you're in for another great evening. I mean,
it is. I mean, it's making it a date night as well. Me and
nice. Good.
Enemy, so
that'd be great.
I booked in an Indian before it, and then we're off to the dinner and a show.
Hopefully, you won't have to wander around like we did. We made a mistake of not booking. I thought.
God, the Greek restaurant. Do you know when we got there? Because I looked at that menu before and it looked stunning. I thought,
was
it Italian or
Italian, mate? Yeah. And look,
we got to the door. I thought, I hope he's booked.
Just have a calzone here and be, a nice Peroni or something.
But I enjoyed the Five Guys. That was my
Five Guys,
first
all
ever
right,
Five
wasn't it?
Guys.
Yeah, no, it's good.
Yeah,
It's good. Yeah.
sounds good.
So that leaves us with Piano Man versus Mr. Greenwood.
Greenwood.
Don't you think?
Yeah,
But
he's Kane in this, isn't he?
it's Kane, mate, and it's been the easiest run.
Would you like a drink? No, I don't think I'd.
Easiest run. Again, maybe he should have saved him, but I just thought he had that upper class gentleman sort of, works in the government type thing. But actually, there's the layer to him that when he gets drunk, he slags, not slags them off, but I sent you a voice note off pod today, didn't I? They're only spending on the Concorde or some other damn.
Yeah, he's that's what I prefer. He's not like he's a government agent in a way, and but you can see some of the nonsense that you've got to spend money on the Concorde or some daft thing. He says,
which 50 years later we still are, aren't we? I mean,
yeah.
how much public money is wasted? ID cards, high speed 2, all these things.
That HS2 thing did my head in because it was supposed to, it's supposed to be good for Wales as well, and it did nothing for anyone.
No,
it was just waffle.
Billions has been ploughed into it and paid to private companies, and someone's lined their pockets, and that's it. But that's come from taxpayers' money that surplus. And I guess there's still surplus now.
I did see a story as well about a guy who couldn't. I think they'd bought all the land next to his house, and it had surrounded him.
Yeah.
A bit like the man on the M62, I suppose,
M62.
but not as bad as that. But he said he couldn't sell his house because it was all the surrounding area was earmarked for that HS2, and it went on for years, and it was all a load of hot air. So
and again, the stress that puts on you, I've had problems with house moves and stuff like that.
Oh, and the hassle in it, and
it's one of the most stressful things you ever do. And if you're not, if you want to get out and you can't, you've got your money tied up in somewhere. That's just a nightmare, isn't it? Through no fault of your own. Yeah,
I know. You can't put a price on your mental health, can you?
Definitely.
But I just had an idea. Can I throw in a wild card to go up against Mr. Greenwood? Right. So A Star Is Born. Rupert for Fainsmuir.
Oh, how did I miss Rupert? Oh,
Trevor Bannister.
Trevor Bannister. Scene stealing role, isn't it? Really.
with his what's his problem? It's a bladder problem, isn't it? Why he never made it?
So he couldn't perform.
Al goes, why? If he's so good, why didn't he make it big in showbiz? Well, he's got a problem. He can't stay on stage for long, can he? 'Cause he needs a piss.
I love it when he walks into the Steptoe's house. He goes, "Oh, I love this. Straight out of Love on the Dole."
He goes, "This is our house."
Yeah.
What was it? Albert goes to him. He goes, "Have you heard about your problem? The bog's out the back." But so, what do you think him up against Mr. Greenwood?
Up against? Oh, mate, I don't know.
That's tough, isn't it?
It's just a little mannerism, isn't it? When he's sort of, it's all right. It's just that.
It's the stammer, yeah. It's sorry.
Isn't it? And he can't quite. He's trying to pull this together, and it's self-penned, isn't it? Hasn't he written it himself? He's written this.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like a clever. It's set in. Well, it's a play on the war in Vietnam, isn't it? But it's set in. When is it set? In India?
Yeah, India, turn of the century, isn't it? I think.
Yeah.
And you've got Carruthers. Is it Carruthers?
Yeah, Carruthers.
You've got the. Oh gosh, I can't
remember. And he's the bit I like as well. He's sort of refereeing between Harold and Albert because he wants Harold, to play a role, but then he sees Albert and he falls in love straight. He thinks he's perfect for the character, and he's trying to convince Harold, and he says it's all right, and you see him getting more and more frustrated. He's like, stick to the script.
Stick to the script. That's it. Yeah.
But Trevor Bannister, great actor, isn't he?
Oh wow, yeah. Yes, I think sorely underrated, to be honest. I mean, Mr. Lucas and I being served, he's great in that, but it's a little bit one-dimensional to a degree. And then he forged a great career. I think he was a pantomime dame and did lots.
I remember him in
his late 70s. Quite a shame he passed on a little bit younger than he perhaps.
Yeah, do you remember him in Keeping Up Appearances?
I do. He was the kitchen salesman, wasn't he?
Yeah. He was getting on then.
She takes a brilliant little scene. She takes all these, which I actually think what
jam
idea. Just take all your little things that are going to get stuck on the kitchen surface with you and try them out.
and cake mix and
Angel Gabriel Blue, isn't it? That's it.
yeah, that's it.
There's
It's
a
quite
few
smart.
famous people. Pike Ian Lavender pops up, doesn't he? He's
Yeah,
is he a alarm salesman? I think is
yeah.
he?
He's come to measure up the Hyacinth
Yeah,
is going to be alarmed, and he's come out
yeah,
to measure where it would go. And
yeah.
yeah, it's funny, isn't it? You see the like Dad's Army
Speaking of
characters, and
cameos, I forgot as well that John Larry,
yeah,
Fraser pops in Steptoe, doesn't he? He's the
Walla Walla Cats, mate.
yeah.
Yeah, I'd actually
When I was
picked
looking
him
at
as
guest characters, I completely forgot. 'Cause again, that's not an episode I go to all that often.
no, I was gonna say he was one of my choices. So he was the vet, 1962 Walla Walla Cats, mate.
Yeah,
Again, but he's another one. He stands out, doesn't he? He's just, I suppose it's because we know him in Dad's Army, but
yeah, we do. Yeah,
yeah, he's another. But no, I think it's a tough one. Greenwood up against Rupert.
yeah.
I can see your face. You're like, oh,
My heart's still going. My heart and my head. I'll be honest. I still go, Mr. Greenwood.
I thought,
I
yeah,
just love what he does. I just love the change in him going from one thing to another. And
I
like
think
I
it's more
say, the first
quotable.
time I
Isn't it?
watched that scene, I was just in fits of laughter. Just couldn't contain myself. And nothing against Terry Bannister. If this
No,
was parallel universe, obviously, definitely, if Mr. Greenwood never existed. Yeah, it would be Rupert for Fane's Muir.
yeah, no, I thought Mr. Green, but I thought I'd throw in a wild card
No,
and
no, no, no. It's great. It's
throw a
great
spanner in the
to
works.
have a wild card, like you say in there. I think he would have. Yeah, he would have swept the floor with any of them anyway. So
Yeah,
yeah, it's like if you get Ronnie versus. Well, we've had Ronnie versus Mark. I can't think tonight.
Selby,
Selby, thank you.
Selby, yeah,
Ronnie versus Mark Selby in a semi-final rather than a final. You kind of
yeah,
want to take that for a final, don't you? Yeah.
yeah. That's
Matchup
too big for yeah.
made in
Ah,
heaven.
brilliant. So, Mr. Greenwood, the winner of that round.
That round, yeah. Nice one.
Your mother is entitled to her pension. The wife of an old soldier is disgraceful. I'll personally see that she gets every penny that she's entitled to. And I'll see that she gets it retrospectable.
Retrospectively.
Thank you.
Cheers.
By Jove, yes. Now, let me see. 6 years at yours must be hundreds of pounds.
How much?
Over 1,000, I should think. And they can afford it. Just look at the surplus they've got. Hundreds of millions. Now, what's the point of having such a big surplus if some poor little old lady can't get her pension, They'll only go and spend it on the Concorde or some other daft bloody thing. Yes.
Hi, this is Susanna Corbett. Thanks for downloading Steptoe and Son.
Have you got far to go?
No, it's all right. Now I got my car outside.